This episode of the 7th Valkyrie podcast was brought to you by me, Boris. To get the full experience, including all available seasons, extra artwork, bonus features, and behind-the-scenes content, you can download the 7th Valkyrie app at the link in the description. And take care out there. Hello, everyone. First of all, welcome back to the 7th Valkyrie podcast. I'm your host, Colin Sharp. And second, first of all, I wanted to thank you guys for taking the time to listen. You guys have a lot of opportunities for how to spend your time. You have about 75 million options for podcasts, videos, TikToks, Reels, tweets, posts, seasons, games, and much more, all vying for your attention. And yet you choose to listen to this podcast. And if you're a fan, then you've spent no small amount of time enjoying a very slow-burning fantasy adventure that has a lot left to go. I actually sat down to write this set of podcast notes on a Thursday, which is one of the weirder days in my week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, those are, I know how those work. They're just work days. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday are the weekend. But Thursday is this weird thing that's very clearly different from Monday and Wednesday, but it's not quite the weekend. It's my day for a break from the gym, since I need to make sure that I can still function in the long term, although I'm currently writing this while hurt. Getting some WhatsApps too, so I'm going to turn off that just a second. Get out of here. Awesome. So that will stop blooping. Anyway, what was I saying? I don't know. None of this really matters to you, but on Thursdays I get all weird in my thoughts. And when I was writing this set of show notes, I was weird and in my thoughts. It might have been because I was still. Actually, on Thursdays I'm usually coming down from the high of watching Dynamite the night before, which usually I'll I'll make a whole thing out of it. I turn it into an awesome production and always have a very mild hangover at the end, sometimes more than a mild hangover. So maybe it's because of that. Maybe it's because it's this weird in-between space where I haven't really settled on what do I do on Thursdays? I don't know. But that got me thinking about patience. I was thinking about, I don't know. I was weird in my head, and so I started thinking about patience. And it got me thinking, because we don't live in a world where patience is really considered that much of a virtue anymore. Do you remember when we actually had to wait for things? I get mad when I have to order something and it takes more than 3 days to get to my house. I'm like, oh my God, what world do we live in? And living in Costa Rica has made me a little bit more patient, but it's patient with deliveries, but I am from the moment I wake up to the moment I go to bed, I can see myself being just a little bit more fidgety. I'm just filling every waking moment with stuff, and you can if you want to. That's what's kind of so interesting, is that from the moment you wake up till the moment you go to bed, you can fill every last moment with some form of entertainment or work or communication or chatting or just nothing, and it adds up. And I think that Thursday, a few weeks ago, I was noticing it was adding up. Ever since I've had access to a smartphone everywhere I went, there always seems something better to do than waiting. You can put on music, you can reply to work emails, you can text a friend, check social media for the 1000th time, play games. It's so about a year and a half ago, I was really working hard on drinking less. And we talked about this concept of the hedonic set point, which is your baseline level of entertainment, enjoyment, stimulation, etc. And having a smartphone to me has been the easiest way to get it up so high that nothing feels interesting anymore. The idea of behind a hedonic set point is that as you stimulate yourself more and more and more with all this stuff, eventually your brain adjusts to it, and then the absence of it becomes an issue, but like you don't notice that you're feeling, like you don't notice the joy of all those things anymore. And I don't know, like have you ever stared at your entertainment center and thought like, oh, there's just nothing to do? Which isn't true at all. There's so much to do, like more than you could do in 1,000 lifetimes. But like when you fill every waking moment with another simulation, like another video, another clip, another post, there's no space to step back and just like wait for things or build anticipation or let like excitement build up. And I started to notice, and this isn't just me, like everyone around the world is dealing with this at the same time. Like when you don't wait for anything, your brain never has a chance to like actually catch up, breathe, and like reset and just be like, okay, like when the next thing happens, I'll be stoked and energized and engaged. But like for now, I'm just, resting and processing. I don't know. It's funny. I'm sitting here and it's like the concept like feels almost intimidating now to have to do that. And it's funny. The first time I ever noticed this was back when I was in college. I've been running from one thing to another, ad infinitum. And I was heading to class. I just felt like hopeless. Like there was nothing to look forward to. Like everything I was going to do was just going to be another thing that I'd done already. And it was such a powerful feeling that I had to sit down and stop and just like sit on a bench and do nothing for 20 minutes until I'd calm down. It was an intense feeling, and it's like it got me thinking about like, wow, like when you fill your life with so much stuff, it can come back to bite you. Maybe for everybody it doesn't, or not for it might be that not everybody is like me. But if you do have that feeling, if you have shared that experience, like every once in a while that feeling does come back to me. But I've noticed that the antidote is patience, and I've been trying to cultivate more patience and more just taking a few moments, sitting back and appreciating what's in front of you. Like presence in the exact moment of time that you're in, even if you're not doing anything. Like you're not looking forward to something, you're just like, cool, we're just waiting, we're just like taking a breath. And sometimes that's all you need. And I don't know, I just wanted to, it's something that's not easy for me, and I wanted to kind of share it with you guys that this is something I've been working on. I don't know, because I feel like you guys see as much of my soul as anybody else does, and more importantly, if there's anybody out there who is like, oh, I did have that feeling, then I would love for this podcast to reach you, and you go, oh, cool, like that's it's a good way to think about that. So anyway, once again, I thank you guys, and I applaud you for embracing the patience that it takes to read through my story and to be waiting and to accept that like these little moments that I put in, that are slowly building to something, all do matter. And I appreciate the hell out of you guys paying attention and being patient. So, and I hope that maybe after listening to this podcast, all of you have a little bit of a moment where you can go, oh, okay, and just find a few moments waiting to be savored, and enjoy them. So anyway, sitting and waiting. Anyway, this has been another episode of the podcast. Have a good time, guys, and I will talk to you on the flip side. Well, we hope you've had a wonderful time listening to the 7th Valkyrie podcast, brought to you by me, Boris, and the entire rest of the pit staff. To get the full experience, including all available seasons, extra artwork, bonus features, and behind-the-scenes content, you can download the 7th Valkyrie app at the link in the description. Enjoy your day.